Hi, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Nico and I use he, him pronouns. For a visual description, I'm a white man with parted blonde hair, large blue and brown spectacles, and a red t-shirt underneath a red cardigan. I'm seated against a green background and further on an orange background, which is my kitchen. And like about 25% of all US residents and 16.9% of all Philadelphians, I'm disabled. Non disabled people might see our lives as tragic, sad, pitiful, but I don't know, guys. I've been disabled a pretty long time now, and I think there's also room for disabled joy. Our disability community has as many members as it has opinions, which is why I've asked my friend Sharon here with me today to talk about disabled joy. Hi, Sharon. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Nico. Good morning. Let me start by saying my name is Sharon Knob. I go by she, her, and hers pronouns. I am a middle-aged white woman with short blondish brown hair. I'm wearing purple glasses and a peach and white top. And let's see, I'm seated behind a gray wall.
Sharon, thank you. Can you recall a joyful memory or a moment in your life? Tell me about it.
Yes, since being disabled, although I've had many, many, many challenges, the best disabled joy that I've experienced is the success of my sons. All through our lives or their childhood, I have struggled, with my complex regional pain syndrome, my multiple back surgeries, my knee surgery. I had to have a double knee replacement. I have complex regional pain syndrome, as I mentioned, and that's a neurological disorder where, you have constant pain signals going to your brain, but it's most known for its burning nerve pain in either your legs or your arms, your hands, or your feet. And as I said, it's constant. So you never, ever, ever, think about anything else other than your pain. It is always there. So it's difficult to focus and you experience brain fog, memory loss, and things like that. But in saying all of that, I never really was able to be the mom that I wanted to be. It was difficult for me to hold my children, for example. But my kids tell me now that they're, in their 20s, that having a disabled mom allowed them to become very resilient. And we have now a very, very close family because, they've been through an awful lot. I've had an interthecal pump, for example, and I've had that replaced many times. I did suffer a drug overdose where my boys were actually in the room when I coded. So that was quite the family experience. And now I have a DRG stimulator. So I do want people to know that, there are options out there. However, I would recommend that you seek other patients who have been through similar experiences. And I should also mention, I have had many, many, many ketamine infusions, which I will say have contributed to my memory loss. So before you consider ketamine, please speak to other patients who have been through that. Now it's more readily available than it was back in the time when I got it, but it did affect my brain. So I do want people to know about that. So my family is very close and I'm very proud of my sons. They now live in New York City and they have, just wonderful professional jobs. And I couldn't be more proud of them. They tell me that they're super resilient through all of this. And, I'm a super proud mom. So thank you, Nico.
Of course, it sounds like you have every reason. I really appreciate your vulnerability with that answer. And I also appreciate all this information you've given us about complex regional pain syndrome. Thank you. You've talked a little bit about this question already, but how has being disabled affected how you pursue joy and how you experience joy for yourself?
That's a great question, Nico. Complex regional pain syndrome, as I mentioned, affects every moment of every day of my life.
Right.
So I am almost like a victim to this illness. It controls everything that I do. So I have to kind of plan my events and days around that, because oftentimes, I may or may not want to participate in things. It exhausts me because I don't sleep well at night. I guess with this illness, supposedly you never get into a REM sleep. So, you don't get restful sleep. So I am always tired. But I do have to sometimes force myself to seek out wonderful things. And I do that because I have to realize that, you know, along with the bad comes the good. And I need positivity in my life. And, that's the best thing that I can do for myself is find joy and find happiness and success and things like that. So, one thing that's helped me a lot to find joy in my life, I want to mention because I need to give credit to other people, is the diverse ability support group and the Chronicon support group, because I just met these folks back in 2022. And up to that point, I had never been involved in support groups. These folks have really changed my life. They have taught me how to find positivity in my life and not necessarily, be a victim to my disability. They have taught me about community, and they've changed my life. And I would highly recommend that if you've never been part of a support group, seek these folks out because they are amazingly supportive. And, as I said, that'd be the best thing you ever did for yourself.
Thank you, Sharon. That's a rousing endorsement. And I love what you say about sometimes having to force yourself, right, to find that joy in life because you do need positivity. It sounds like you know yourself and your needs well, and I really value that. I also noticed that you touched on like chronic fatigue, and yeah, that's an unfair game, isn't it? Because even though exhaustion stacks like a tower of blocks, it's not like rest stacks. That's tough. Thank you. Sharon, what do you want the general public to know about disability life or disabled quality of life?
I think I want the public to know that it's so important to accept disabled people and that they are challenged to find a better quality of life at times. And they have a lot to offer. I don't want disabled people to ever feel like they are less than anyone else. And I want them to believe in themselves and believe in what they have to offer the world. And having invisible disabilities myself, I struggle with the fact that people often, look at you and they want to put their opinions of what disabled people should be like on you. And that's not fair because they don't live your experience every day and they don't know what you go through every day. They have no right to judge you. So, as I am a disabled person, I really think that it is important for everyone to realize the quality of disabled people and everything that they do indeed have to offer the world.
I really love that, Sharon. Thank you. You touch on how disability, doesn't always fit into one criteria or one box. And if you've seen one disabled person, you've seen one disabled person. Disabled self-agency is so incredibly important and vital to like healthy advocacy and a healthy and sustainable disabled life. Thank you. Finally, Sharon, my last question is one that I ask all of my guests, regardless of project. It's kind of a softball. Is there a recent win that you're celebrating? Or if not, where can people find you online? What cool things are you doing that you want to like promote, gas yourself up about? This is your chance to be your own cheerleader and promote yourself. So let's hear it.
Thanks, Nico. That's a great question. One thing I'm trying to do is promote awareness about invisible disabilities and complex regional pain syndrome. I set up an Instagram channel. It's called Invisible CRPS Stargazer, and people can find me there. I'm trying to educate about these two conditions so that people understand, where to find other resources. I'm trying to become more active in my support groups. As I mentioned, Diversibility and Chronicon, but I also attend the US Pain Foundation meetings. I also attend this specific to CRPS, this support group called Fight the Flame, and they meet once a month on Saturday afternoons, the second Saturday of the month. So that's very specific to our group. But so I participate in those meetings as well. So please, if you have any questions, seek me out on my Instagram channel. So I'm trying to become more involved there, and just become more of a patient advocate. That's what I'm doing for myself. I'm also becoming involved in the book chats because we do read books about disabled people. And it's so important because I just read a book called Believe in People. And it was a fabulous book about, just realizing the value of people. And we talked about that book, and it's probably the best book I've read in a really, really long time. So I would highly recommend that book to anyone. And so that's really about it for now.
Sharon, thank you. That was a lot, and I'm so glad that you've spun this web of network supports for yourself through Chronicon, the US Pain Foundation, and Diversibility. It sounds like you found a lot of strength and knowledge in those groups, and I really respect that. It can be tough to put yourself out there, especially for disabled people. Fantastic. Sharon, thank you for joining me. I really appreciated our time together.
I do as well, Nico. Thank you so much for asking me to do this. I really appreciate this.
Of course. All right. Audience, tune in next time. And remember, I'm rooting for you.